Episode number 219.
Frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency. One of these four components is normally the reason for success or failure in especially social media marketing, but it can be any of your marketing.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm fired up today and so should you. And after this show, I think your content's going to be on point because we're bringing you our featured guest today, Tyler Kemp. Tyler, are you ready to be real?
Oh, I am ready, Travis.
My man's always bringing the fuego. I'll tell you that right now. My man, Tyler Kemp, he helps you with your content. And most importantly, folks, making that content fire, making that content good content, stuff people want to engage with. He is a social selling expert. He is a speaker. He is also the CEO of Roll Social, as well as we also did see Lead Roll. And basically at the end of the day, folks, he's also helping you, build your social following so that they convert, so they actually turn into business. And he has founded on some of his principles, which are the FIRE formula, and we'll get into that, which is frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency. And this, folks, is a systems guy. And so I love learning about systems because everyone's different, and so everyone's got different systems and processes that make them successful. But my man has obviously figured these things out. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. First, like I ask, how's your day going today?
It is a good day wading through some snow in Denver.
Okay.
Yep, snow in the boots. But gets me fired up, man. Gets me ready to heat things up on the podcast.
Yeah, bring the fuego today. Bring the fuego. So my question to you is how'd you get started into this business? What gave you the ideas? Where'd you go? What was the first step there?
Oh man, now that's definitely a story. Well, I started my first business back in, I think it was 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And ran that for a couple years. That was in the real estate sector.
Got you.
And once I realized that I was really good at one thing, which is demand generation, and I didn't enjoy all of the operations and all that other stuff, I pursued demand generation marketing full time. Got brought on to a couple lending teams that were doing residential mortgage lending. My big win at that time was helping a loan officer get from 100 million to 120 million in 12 months.
Oh, nice.
Which really just propelled my career. Started working as a marketing on the marketing advisory board of a $16 billion company in the mortgage space.
Wow.
Then I went to Startup Land, helping a small startup in Denver expand and go national with just different types of advertising, managing their team. And now I run two international marketing agencies. One thing just leads to the next over the last 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing. So what got you into starting with Lead Roll, right? Was that the first business?
That was the first of the two current businesses that I'm running, yes.
Right.
So oddly enough, we began as a full service marketing agency.
Got you.
When I launched in, it was actually a little bit nebulous. It was like, all right, I know how to do all these things. I've been, the software company I worked with, I helped them get from 60 grand a month in recurring revenue to 200 grand a month in 8 months, which was insane. And so it was like, this is time to now move forward and put my pedal to the metal and do something for myself again. After all these years of kind of this corporate world,
right,
going back into entrepreneurship, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to build. So I was just going to people I know and figuring out what their problems were and figuring out if I could solve them. I was pretty much selling a solution before I even had one in place. And oddly enough, what ended up, we were doing Instagram ads, we were doing Facebook ads, we were doing Google AdWords, all kinds of things with websites and email marketing. And what ended up happening was our experiments with LinkedIn outperformed everything else we were doing combined. So we were able to generate more leads that were higher quality, faster, and cheaper than everything else we were doing. And we found that we were able to do it at in such a cost-effective way that we lowered the price points to like $500 a month, and just made a play to say, all right, let's go wide instead of deep, try and get as many people into this as possible and help as many people as possible. And each client typically, whereas with our Facebook ads, we were not generating, you know how it is. Like sometimes you're getting like 50 leads, 100 leads, depending on your budget. With LinkedIn, it's totally budget dependent, like independent from variable spend. So no ad spend, no variable costs, no complicated marketing funnels. And we were able to get about 500 new connection leads per month.
Wow.
And start about anywhere from 100 to 200 conversations on LinkedIn without all that fluff. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And so is it done through some automation too then? Is it done through some software that helps the process?
Yeah. So I'll say yes with an interesting caveat. So there's a lot of tools out there that can do LinkedIn stuff.
Right.
There's Chrome extensions that you can automate some things with. But unfortunately, that stuff is just not very safe. So if you use something like LinkedIn Helper or Duck Soup, that is like installed onto your browser, and LinkedIn has been going after these companies for a while and have been getting really serious about it lately. So they can detect you, and most people don't know the limits. They're sending spam messages. They don't know how to create the proper variations of the outreach to remain undetected. And it's just the software itself is just underdeveloped. So what we use is enterprise grade. The only reason we can even do it is because of our scale. Otherwise, if someone were to just step in and try to do what we do, it would actually cost them more to do it themselves than to have us do it.
Right.
Because it just simple economy of scale.
So, it's built himself a nice business. I like that.
Yeah. Yep.
What it's all about, baby. That's what it's all about. Hey, man, that's a blessing. I think you're absolutely right. LinkedIn, folks, is underutilized. It's the most valuable business-to-business platform out there. It allows you to connect to people inside your circle. And like we were talking with a guest, Alex Vidal, on Fridays, we're all a few connections away from the people that we want to talk to, and so through LinkedIn, through some of these platforms, which I think LinkedIn is the leader. But then that also gets me into your other business, which is Roll Social. And that's really focused on content, right? Content generation and putting that content out for clients, right?
Absolutely. Yep. That's right.
So is it done? So when you guys do content, are you doing everything custom to the customer?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I like your style.
Yeah. It's completely human powered as opposed to some of our work with Lead Roll.
Right.
And what's in the end, what I found is just none of us have the time to think of something creative once or twice a day, every single day, to be spending that time working and thinking, what insights do I want to share today on social media?
Right.
Rather than being belly to belly with other people, which is where most sales professionals really need to be spending their time.
Absolutely.
They're not graphic designers. They're not copywriters. They're not social media experts typically. And so we come in as a fractional team member, and we research their brand, really understand what makes them tick. We get on a call with them and figure out what makes them different from everyone else, help them develop a brand voice if they don't have one. And then we design 40 custom posts with custom designed images that we use Canva for, and we just come up with cool, creative images every single day,
right?
And new things to say to help.
That's what it's all about, folks. You got to keep that thing fresh. But with that business, it's mostly focused on the content, so you guys aren't having to do any engagement or as well as ad spend for the customer on that side.
Exactly. Yep. All 100% organic content, organic reach. And if they feel like turning it into an ad and boosting the post, or putting it into an ad on LinkedIn, they can absolutely do that. Absolutely. However, LinkedIn specifically and Instagram, both of the organic reach right now is extremely good, even better on LinkedIn than Instagram.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Instagram has been going through some changes this last year, folks. From the biggest influencers out there are getting about 1/10 of the engagement that they used to get. So that means 90% of their engagement has gone away. Now, this is not for every brand, but this has happened across the board. Just like when you first in Facebook back in the heydays of 2009, 2010, when we started a company, and all of a sudden, people were getting tons of organic reach. There's still organic reach out there, folks, on Facebook, but you gotta play with the content. You gotta play with the platform, And so, I love it, man. I love it. These are great businesses, man, and especially I love the lead role one. I think that especially for our listeners today, as well, obviously in complement to Roll Social, but I think obviously getting those quality leads is so important for businesses and having their pipeline full and just making sure that they're always being, leads, and it leads into your other business where you need to be putting content out for these people to see.
exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things where simultaneously, so if you were to try and do it yourself, right, conservatively, it might take 3 minutes to come up with something interesting and tailored to say, or even just if you're copying and pasting a message in to LinkedIn, still conservatively about 3 minutes. And you factor in that we're reaching out to 2,000 people a month. That's 3 times 2,000, you divide it by 60. Honestly, between that first message and the other messages, we're saving about 200 hours of work that you would manually have to do in LinkedIn Sales Navigator for $500 a month. So it's
insane.
And then it's simultaneously, if they're like, okay, cool, I actually want to build brand. Now we're taking each of these 500-ish new connections a month, and whether or not they buy right now is completely irrelevant. Whether or not they're in market right now doesn't matter as long as they're demographically qualified.
Right.
The content helps nurture them over time so that when they're ready, then you're the person they call because you're the one who's always showed up for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I love it. And also, what gave you the interest into the role? I like that because both of them have role in them. Role and Roll Social.
Yep. Well, I like to keep things moving.
Yes, there you go.
I've always said, all right, let's get rolling. And,
cool.
In my onboarding, and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? That eventually turned into brand. And I'm a huge fan of the retargeting platform AdRoll.
Oh, yeah.
And, just how that can help with branding and whatnot. So I took a cue from the AdRoll playbook and thus
awesome,
began
man.
Lead Roll.
That's awesome, bro. Hey, why reinvent the wheel, folks? But now, my man Tyler, we're about to take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Apple or Android?
Android, 100%.
Oh, nice. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Chicken or steak?
Steak, all the way.
Laptop or smartphone?
Laptop.
Spotify or Pandora?
Totally Spotify.
Yeah. Movies or video games?
Video games.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of games right now?
Temtem, dude. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Reading books or listening to books?
Listening to books. Better leverage on your time.
Oh, yeah. The 1X or 2X, or my man Tom Billy would do 3X.
Mm-hmm.
Stocks or real estate?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Stocks are getting hammered today. But
that's a really tough one for me. I
like
like both, dude.
Good time to buy.
I'm so real estate's where my I have so much knowledge in real estate, but stocks is so hands off. I'm gonna have to say stocks.
That's the best thing about stocks, folks, is that you don't have to do any other work.
Yep.
You just
I've got a great CFP, so he's leads things ahead of the game.
Leads you the way. I like your style. And oceans or lakes?
Ocean. Is that even a comparison?
I can't believe it, but some people love lakes, Some people love lakes. So, and when you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror. Why do you love being you?
Man, that is a great question. Why do I love being me? I think that I have come to accept failure as a part of all of our story. I've come to a place where I believe that, for so long in our own negative self-talk sabotages our life. It sabotages our goals.
Right.
And it took me so long, I think, to really come to a point where I was really okay with who I am. And my wife certainly has played a huge role into this in my life, and my faith as well. But in the end, I like being me because I I go after it every day, and I try to be fearless as possible. And I'm just okay with both my strengths and my weaknesses. And I really do my best. I do my best, as selfish as I actually am, to try to be others focused. And I think even just the goal of trying to build up other people and to be, to eat last and to become a better leader every day is it makes me feel good about myself, and I like that about me.
That's awesome, dude. And you're always keeping rolling, baby. I like that. I like that about you too.
Always moving forward.
Oh yeah, you got to, folks. No matter what their obstacle is, you can overachieve it. You can knock that wall down. Do you think you'll ever retire?
Oh, interesting question. I would love to retire.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop building businesses.
Right.
I believe in passive income. I believe in focusing on your strengths and delegating the rest, right? Hence the E in the FIRE formula, which we might, I'd love to talk about if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into that here shortly.
Yeah. And I think retirement would be on the horizon, but I wouldn't stop working. I would retire, and do what I want, but I would still work for fun.
Right. Yeah. Keep that mind going. Build those synapses. Yeah. Dr.
Never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
That's, I think, the biggest inhibitor to, as you get older and older, your growth is you just think you know everything.
Right. And we don't. We don't. And every day you got to learn more, folks. Shit, that's life. So get into your FIRE strategy. I'm sure it leads into how you start your day. So tell us about the FIRE strategy.
Yeah. So this is a methodology that came to life based on the learnings from, again, working in this large corporation, $16 billion corporation, trying to, make good decisions, working with sales producers that were anywhere from 100 to 120 million in their loan volume per year. Again, working in the startup world and just seeing that whole other side to business. I was able to boil down what I consider to be the most effective framework for an effective marketing strategy. It's a simplified version of an effective marketing strategy, which FIRE stands for, as you mentioned, frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency. And one of these four components is normally the reason for success or failure in especially social media marketing, but it can be any of your marketing. It can be in your retargeting ads. It can be just your brand strategy. It can be your YouTube play or your SEO. In the end, you need to be frequent and consistently in front of someone over and over and over in the right platforms in the right way in order to get their attention. But if you're frequent and you're not intimate and human, that's where you get all this corporate posts and your corporate content that actually doesn't work,
right?
Because it's canned, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't really add any value to your life. And so the intimacy is all about being human, being real in your marketing, creating intimacy even as a brand, so that you can create genuine connection. Because in the end, people still buy from those they know, like, and trust.
Right.
And for some reason, a lot of, in sales professionals, we forget that. We forget, like, wow, in my sales, people have to know, like, trust me. But in my marketing, I just want a lead today. I want a deal today. And so they've missed, for some reason, this human element. And then relevancy means that you're tailoring your approach based on the level of trust someone has built with you. So if they don't know you yet and they don't know why they should be listening to you, maybe they're not quite aware of their pain and their problem that you solve. A lot of people in their content, all they focus on is, here's my product, right. buy from me. And they never nurture and build, well, hey, do you have a problem or is there, are you someone who is this market that faces this problem?
Right.
And highlight and prod the reason they need your solution first. So being relevant tailors your message, whether that's on your landing page, whether that's in your video, or just in your social, organic, everyday posts, tailors it to the mindset that they have. And then efficiency is the last element, which means that you can't do this all yourself. Marketing is far too complicated. There's really, it takes so much more now, so much more effort to cut through the noise than is really possible for one person to do. So you can either hire a really expensive agency to do the work, or you can hire an internal person, which can easily cost, upwards of $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do it yourself, which, who has either time for that or all of the skills necessary to do it, or focus, delegate to a company like ours. And in the end, you have, it's the 20% of things that can yield 80% of the results. But of course, there's still all these other things that you can do. But for someone in that small to medium-sized business range, typically I found generating an audience and then nurturing that audience is the most effective way to really get there. So when you're doing frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency together, it creates something we call the ignition effect, which is based off of a combustion engine, where one small spark leads to a chain reaction of explosions. So in the same way, doing these 4 things together in the right way can lead to a chain reaction of growth in your business. You can charge the perfect price. You're now in a position where you can attract the perfect client. You can create the right kind of leverage in your business, and you're creating really human connections with people. And that's the FIRE formula.
I love it. Frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency, folks. And light that ignition, baby, in your content. And at the end of the day, you got to keep working at it, right? Because the algorithms are going to change. You might have gotten, a million likes before, and now you got 100,000, and now, you're pissed. But hey, that's life. I always tell people this shit is still all free for the most part. If you do a good job on organic, you're still getting free organic reach. And then you can use some targeted ads to boost things, or we talked about retargeting content to people that have visited your website. There's so many things to do and learn. So it's not like it's a one-person job. You're right. It's just so true.
It's so complicated too, because it's there's so many gurus out there, so many inputs with the internet, and with YouTube being my favorite over Netflix, because I love to learn, but at the same time, you just don't know always who to listen to.
Absolutely. I would say at least listen to 3 people, because at least you'll hopefully pick one of the 3 who will actually give you a guidance. Some of these people now are just trying to sell you a course. They're not going to give you everything. They're trying to sell you into their funnel. They're trying to get you into their course. But go listen to Gary Vee first off. Shit, the dude is just dropping dimes. He's been doing it since I started my business and even before then. And he's not asking you for $1. So do it for people that don't need the money, And so even your boy, I'm not doing things for your money. Hey, go back and listen to the 200 plus episodes we got on the show. You're going to learn some shit. You're going to actually learn from experts in their industry, like my man here, even as for giving you the FIRE techniques. Even if you're not going to use his tool, at least he gave you some tools to remember when you're creating your own content: frequency, intimacy, relevancy, and efficiency. Being efficient.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you're working with us or doing this yourself.
Right.
Truly, truly does not matter. In the end, these are the things that I found separate success from failure. Right. You got to be there. And I think, unfortunately, there's just not enough emphasis on the long game. Right. We all want to play the short game of like, okay, if I'm going to pay someone, I need a deal right now.
Right.
But I think that the days of direct response advertising being the number one go-to thing are there. I think there is an end to that. I think that it's diminishing in effectiveness. It's getting more and more expensive.
Right.
And so the cheapest, most effective way to build a long-term, fill your funnel kind of thing is build that audience of people who now trust you. And if you are nurturing thousands of people at scale with quality information, doesn't even have to be amazing. It can even just be little thought bites here and there. The effect is dramatic.
Oh, yeah. It's a snowball, folks. It's a snowball. So now we're about to take you into our last question, my man. Say you're sitting down with anybody in the world. Be real. Who would you love to bring to that dinner tonight? Anyone in the world. They're flying out to you.
Anyone in the world.
Anyone in the world.
Alive today or dead?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh man, honestly, my first instinct is always to say my wife. I love my wife, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love my wife. I would take her over anyone else on this planet. And
That's the only way to live right there, man. Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, dude. And, of course I'd be open to sitting with some top tier influencers as well and just learning from them.
Right. Of course. Yeah. The Gary V's, the Grant Cardones,
I have thought about that, man. I just don't, I'm like, if I was in a room, sometimes I'll even dream about it. I'll have dreams that I'm meeting with Gary V and I don't know exactly what to ask him.
Right.
Where it's like, what would I even actually say to what do I really want to know from you?
Right.
I think it would probably be around hiring strategy. But
hiring, firing, getting rid of how to clean house.
Yeah.
So where's the best place for people to find you and learn more about you?
So if someone wants to learn more about the FIRE formula and they want to dig a little bit deeper into that, just to learn, a free resource I've put together is rollsocial.co. It's ROLL social.co/training.
Nice.
And they can opt into a training video. And there is a pitch at the end, but all value for the first 30 minutes first. And if they don't want to stick around for that other part, that's totally fine. And if they want to learn about LeadRoll, that's leadroll.co. And of course, I would love to chat with anyone on LinkedIn that feels like connecting with me. Tyler Kemp, you'll see if you search that, there's one that says, I help with content. That's me. And send me a message.
Oh, yeah. Well, folks, you've been hanging out with Tyler Kemp and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. We're all going through a lot right now, and Real-Time Outsource, my business, is giving back to local and small businesses. Through our social media services and campaigns, we are actually helping small businesses get more exposure during these times, and also when we get through these times. At the end of the day, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but most importantly, you got to think about your business right now and take it seriously. So come check us out at realtimeoutsource.com, and we would love for you to qualify and get the process started where we can take a look at your business and see if we can qualify you for some of our services at little to no cost for most of the businesses. And some businesses, you're going to have to pay, but that's just part of life, right? But most importantly is that I think this is the time, folks, that you can actually help thrive in your business. And so I would love to help you personally with our team. We're all going through a tough time right now. So take advantage of us. realtimeoutsource.com. Check us out. And we would love to do some business with you and help you with your social and digital media in 2020 and beyond. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today.